You are Locked On Pistons Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Detroit on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
And here we go. Welcome into a live Locked On Pistons postcast. 123-117. Detroit falls on the road to the Dallas Mavericks. And buckle up, because I've got a lot to say. I was at the game at the American Airlines Center, and you are now locked into a live Locked On Pistons postcast. Fired up as always to be with you. Jake Riepma. You can follow me on Twitter at Jake_Riepma. It was a sluggish effort tonight. We're going to talk about that. There was no energy from this team except when they wanted to get technical fouls, and really nobody came to play. A lot of turnovers. We'll talk about that. Of course, I'll have my turning point and the player of the game as well. So buckle up, come along, and don't forget your favorite podcast, Locked On Pistons, now has a daily newsletter that you can sign up for free at LockedOnDaily.com, and make sure you check out Locked On Pistons as well. But here we go. Like I mentioned, the Pistons were in my backyard. And when I say backyard, literally, I live a block away from American Airlines Center. So walked over there for the game, and I couldn't be more disappointed. I mean, what the heck? I'm so excited about this team and been looking forward to it all week, really all month, circling it on the calendar. And it's not about me, of course not, but you get a chance to see this team in action in person. I'm on the court pregame, watching Cade warm up, got to, introduce myself to Special K, caught up with a good buddy, Smooth Johnny Kane was there, and talked with him for a little while. So the night's going well, and then the Pistons lay an egg. And for 3.5 quarters, this team played with little to no energy, little to no heart, and it cost them. I mean, this is a Dallas Mavericks team that entered tonight having lost 9 of their last 10. I mean, anybody that follows the NBA, even in the slightest way, knows that this Dallas Mavericks team has plummeted downward because of injuries after the Luka Doncic trade, and they were in danger of forfeiting games because they don't have enough players. And the decimated Dallas Mavericks go out and put forth more of an effort and earn the 123-117 win over the Detroit Pistons. So really, really disappointing all the way around. Now, individually, and we'll talk more about it in the final segment, Cade was good, but some of the notes I took down, especially early, Cade struggled, and so did Malik Beasley. I mean, they were combined 4 of their first 20 shots from the floor, those two. So Dallas never really pulled away, but Detroit just trailed the entire way. And anytime they'd gain a little bit of momentum, Dallas would come right back. And so even though, make no mistake about it, the Mavs are completely decimated and not a formidable opponent, they were the better team tonight. Now, there's a lot of comments I want to get into because a lot of people with a lot to say, and I'll have a couple more notes in the turning point in the final segment. But one thing I wrote down, and I should also add before we go any further, Tim Hardaway Jr. goes down with a high ankle sprain, saw it happen, and it didn't look good from the start, stayed down for a while, and hopefully that's not a long-term lingering thing. But no update other than he missed the majority of the game tonight, and the Pistons could have used him because they were really lacking that star power, that firepower outside of what Cade and Beasley and Jalen Duren, I should say. For a while, Duren was leading the team in scoring, and I don't want to upset Bobby B and go too far into the box score, so I'll leave that for later on. But when you talk about a team that let a good opportunity to, again, it would have been the 3rd win in a row, and they far inferior. The Pistons were the far superior team on paper, but they just did not play like it tonight. So that being said, let's get into some of the comments. I know people want to sound off. We lead off with Mark. Mark Paget says sloppy and lazy. They'll get swept if they continue to play this way. Mark goes on to add, must get a point guard during the offseason. Interesting note there because Dennis Schroeder tonight, he had some good plays and some poor plays. As a team, the Pistons turned the ball over 20 times, and that's on my points to talk about. I mean, Ron Holland, this is not trying to be funny. This is not trying to be disrespectful. I don't think he knows how to dribble the basketball. There was a not even 2-minute span. In 4 possessions, Ron Holland was responsible for 3 turnovers. At one point, I looked at the box score. He had played for 8 minutes and he had committed 4 turnovers. He can't, and if you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to try and emulate it here. He can't sustain a power dribble like any other National Basketball Association player can. I was watching it just in awe of how, and I'm going to say clumsy because he's super athletic, obviously, and a great defender, but he's just not coordinated. That's the term I'm looking for. But my goodness. And I agree with this comment here from Jordan Dunn. Need to get Asar out there for longer in the 4th. Yeah, there's been a couple of times where JB has gone away from Asar in the 4th quarter. And I don't understand why, because I think, especially with Tim Hardaway Jr. out, he gives you a good chance to have your best players on the floor. Demetrius McNeil says, Jake, you and I talking about the technical fouls that cost the Pistons. They did not get the memo. 3 more technical fouls. Stop giving other teams technical foul free throws. Got to wake up Sunday. Indeed. Yeah, it's interesting because, Tobias Harris get a technical foul. He doesn't normally get teed up. You had, I believe it was Cade got a technical. And then I'm not sure who the 3rd one was on. I got to go back and check the notes. Somebody in the comments can help me out. But yeah, none of them were super egregious. They just kind of happened out of nowhere. And three free throws. I mean, points were at a premium. And when you lose 123, 117, goes down to the last couple of possessions, that's going to be a huge negative point for the team getting those technical fouls. So, all right. Jordan says, finally catching a post-game stream, and of course it's a loss. That's how I felt. I was finally catching the Pistons in person, and of course it's a loss. Daniel Berry Sports Highlight checking in and says, good game by the Mavs. He was there. Oh, I got it. You should have let me know, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. We could have connected because I was there as well. But some of the notes I wrote down in the final stretch, because this Mavs team did get Klay Thompson back, which is, they had been missing him for a while. But the Pistons get it down to 3 points on a Beasley 3-pointer. And in the ensuing possession, the Mavs go 1 of 2 at the foul line, but the Pistons don't block out on the free throw and they get a bucket. So it turns into a 3-point trip. That was with 2:16 left. And then when you're down by 7, Schroeder hit that huge 3 and they get the stop when they cut it to 4, but Cade in transition, it was one of his few bad shots on the night because he kind of got in between what he wanted to do in that transition. And credit to the Mavs that were able to, I think it was Hardy that was able to prevent him from scoring. And then the Mavs did some things well down the stretch. They had that successful challenge that kept the ball with Dallas in that 114-110 game. And then with 48 seconds to go, Schroeder got fouled, but only went 1 of 2 at the stripe. And, again, with points being at the premium down the stretch, when it's so important like that, you got to be better. You just can't go 1 of 2 from the foul line. And as a team, the Pistons were 14 of 19, the Mavs 27 of 36. So they shot a lot more free throws than 16 more, in fact, than 17 more. Math is hard than the Detroit Pistons. So interesting notes there for sure. The whistle seemed to favor the Dallas Mavericks, but make no mistake about it. That's not why this Pistons team lost, not even in the least. This Pistons team lost because they didn't play with energy. They didn't play with effort. They allowed the Mavs to get in a rhythm, and PJ Washington, among others, Spencer Dinwiddie and PJ Washington were your 2 players delivering for the Dallas Mavericks. Dinwiddie with 13 and PJ Washington, or 13 with 31. Sorry, dyslexia there. And you've got PJ Washington with 29 for the Dallas Mavericks. So, and then go ahead and give 20 for Klay Thompson as well, 19 for Najee Marshall. So disappointing again, because you felt like this was a time the Pistons could have stockpiled some wins together. But that being said, turn it around. Pistons next game on Sunday when they return home, and they've got the New Orleans Pelicans coming to town, which, again, the Pistons for this portion of the schedule have some very, very winnable games. I know it's the last leg of a 3-game road trip, a lot of traveling and so on and so forth, but you still would have loved to see them get the win tonight. Pelicans, Spurs, Cavs are your matchups for the 3-game homestand that begins on Sunday. Spurs come to town on Tuesday, Cavs on Friday, a week from tonight. So that being said, we're going to get into our turning point of the game, our player of the game, and all that and so much more. That's coming up next on Live Locked On Pistons Postcast. This episode of the Locked On Pistons Postcast is brought to you by Upwork. That's right, Upwork. Let me tell you all about it. It's because, scaling your business requires the right expertise at the right time. And with Upwork, you can find specialized freelancers in marketing, development, design, and so much more. Experts ready to help you take on your business to the next level. Ready to help you take your business to the next level. Upwork gives you business flexibility by connecting you with top freelance talent across multiple industries, and that includes IT, AI, web development, and marketing. Whether you need extra hands for a project or a long-term partner, Upwork makes hiring simple and affordable. Find the right talent. If you need help with a marketing campaign, Upwork can connect you with a freelance expert who delivers the incredible result. It's cost-effective as well. Instead of hiring full-time, Upwork helps you find affordable, top-tier freelancers to scale your business efficiently. So visit Upwork.com right now and post your job for free. That's Upwork, UPWORK.com, Upwork.com to connect with top talent and grow your business today. This episode of the Locked On Pistons Postcast is also brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Daylight savings might have snuck up on us again. And if you're feeling that lost hour of sleep, well, good news, 5 Hour Energy has your back. The extra sunshine means more time for fun, people. Sometimes you need a little boost to power through. That's where 5 Hour Energy comes from. So whether you're staying up late to watch the NCAA tournament like I will be tonight, maybe you're squeezing in a round of golf after work, do that as well. Or you're just trying to keep up with your busy day-to-day lifestyle, 5 Hour Energy gives you that quick, refreshing pick-me-up whenever you need it. Basketball madness is here. Now, the first couple of days of the NCAA tournament, maybe we'll get some buzzer beaters and some good stories, but right now you need the 5 Hour Energy to help you stay up late and watch all the tournament action. Don't forget the extra daylight activities with longer days. You can get outside for a hike, a walk, a run, golf, whatever. Tropical bursts, that's my go-to for a quick burst. So head over to 5hourenergy.com to find over 15 flavors to choose from. That includes watermelon, blue raspberry, and peach mango. You can even build your own 12-pack or 24-pack, and it's delivered right to your door. If you need one now, grab a 5 Hour Energy shot at your local grocery or convenience store. They're everywhere. Stock up today and stay energized. A really disappointing loss in this one for the Detroit Pistons. 123-117. Pistons fall to 39-32. They're 21-16 on the road. And for the Mavs, they're now 34-37, 20-16 at home. And like I said, this win is just their second in 11 games. So unfortunate that it has to come at the expense of the Detroit Pistons. But now listen, sometimes you get going, you get all excited and you forget to do something. And you know what? That's why it's live. We do it live because it's time now for...
This is what you'll be talking about.
We're going to be talking about a missed opportunity for the Detroit Pistons in this one, because that's exactly what tonight was. And it's not often, it was probably a valuable lesson. You can't just waltz into the opposition's building, and even though they're having a down portion of the series and season and play really poorly, you can't just show up and expect to win. And the energy lacked in the first really 3 quarters. The Pistons really didn't turn it on until that fourth quarter. And despite the box score, Cade having a whale of a game, he struggled early, and it was not a lot of offense from other contributors for this Detroit Pistons team. So a missed opportunity tonight for the Detroit Pistons. And where did it all go wrong? Well, let's find out.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Turning point in this one down the stretch, with the Mavericks doing the right things and getting a number of stops, as well as the way that they were able to just stay on the gas. But one of the turning points I wrote down, when the Pistons got it back to within 4 at 114-110. Unfortunately, the Pistons thought they had the stop, got the ball back, but the challenge that overturned it, a successful challenge by Jason Kidd, got to give him a lot of credit, because from then on, the Pistons were not able to get it to a one-possession game. And so that turning point where the Pistons had the ball back and couldn't quite get it, or didn't get the ball back because of the challenge. It was unfortunate in the sense that they really never could get it down to a one possession game. It was so close, but just could never pull through. And when the Mavs broke that press and got the and one basket, that really served as the dagger there. So unfortunate. And, occasionally you're going to lose some of these nights in the NBA and the last leg of the road trip, but it's no excuse. A really unfortunate loss for the Pistons tonight. But time now for our player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Love to give it to Cade Cunningham, even though it was a losing effort for the Detroit Pistons tonight. But Spencer Dinwiddie was the best player on the court for the Dallas Mavericks, and his team won. And you look at what he was able to do from the floor. He's so efficient, 9 of 12 and 11 of 13 from the foul line. So he got to the stripe, and that discrepancy at the free throw line was huge, in the sense that the Mavs really had the advantage at the free throw line compared to the Detroit Pistons. So a bummer there, and a bummer all the way around. And hopefully the Pistons can bounce back and be ready to go on Sunday at home. It would be good to get back into the friendly confines of Little Caesars Arena. So thanks everyone for tuning in. And I'm sorry I couldn't bring home the W, even though I was at the game. And, credit to the Mavs for getting the win on this one. But great to see Smooth Johnny Kane. Great to meet Special K. Great to just be at the game and soak it all in, but unfortunately in a losing effort for the Pistons. Final score in this one, 123-117. Thanks as always for tuning in. It's always a pleasure to be on the air with you after a Detroit Pistons game, and unfortunately tonight it was after a loss. Up next for the Pistons, Sunday against the New Orleans Pelicans. That's a 3:00 game. We'll be on right after that. Hopefully your brackets are doing well. Michigan State in action right now. They have a 12-point lead, so not really blowing out Bryant per se, but certainly in the driver's seat, up 12. So thanks so much as always. Appreciate the comments, appreciate the texts, appreciate the tweets. The feedback is always appreciated. And shout out to I Want to Kermit with the last comment in there. Hopefully the next one is a dub. Completely agree. Pistons need to get back in the win column, because this was an unexpected loss. There's no doubt about it. Final score, Dallas 123, the Pistons 117. We'll see you next time on a live Locked On Pistons postcast. Make sure you like and subscribe. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, I'll follow back. All right, have a good one. Bye.